So what's an ideal sandbox prep method? I worked with a lot of large customers, and one of the things that kept coming up is, what are the 3 steps and how do you really optimize them? Of course, the first is you got to create or refresh your sandbox. And one of the challenges there is if you have too much junk data, a lot of old obsolete records, that's going to increase your sandbox refresh. With very, very large customers, that refresh time could be in days and weeks. That's a huge, huge challenge because you're basically duplicating crap all across your organization. This information has no value. So maybe an opportunity to do data retention and reduce the amount of data in production that is not usable by business. You save on storage cost, you accelerate your sandbox refresh and create. Just generally a good thing to do, preventing duplication of old obsolete data across the board. The second part of this is the actual masking or seeding. You really want to do this so that way you're risk-free. You primarily make sure that anybody who's accessing this information is not accessing sensitive data. It's not company confidential. They're not looking at your key customer data. How much do you sell for? Who do you sell to? What are your price lists? What are your products? They're also not looking at stuff like federal government, public sector customers, things like that. So that's on the masking front. You want this masking to be on platform. You want it to be quick and you want it to be fully automated so that your CI/CD tool, your DevOps tool can just trigger it. That's the second step. The third step is after you've done all this, you still need to do deproduction. You have to remove production settings. You have to change settings in your sandbox, which may be remote site settings pointing to your other production system. Maybe it's pointing to a NetSuite or an ERP or some finance system. You may have custom label, custom settings, bunch of things like that. Those DeProd lists can be very, very long. Particularly if you have CPQ, if you have e-commerce, you can optimize this by automating. A lot of DevOps tools can do that. Set your environment variables. So you can in fact try our DataMasker for free and you can use it to mask your records. And you can also use it every time you refresh a sandbox. All of this gets automatically set up for you. So I think those are the 3 things that typically you want to focus on so that you have one of the best sandbox prep process in the industry. Make sure that you're not replicating a lot of junk data. And while you're creating and refreshing sandboxes, you do not want to bring in field history. You do not want to bring in chatter. You do not want to bring in some of these things unless there's a really good business reason to do so. This will also dramatically help accelerate your sandbox refresh timings. So 3 steps: reduce the amount of data in production so that your sandbox create and refresh are faster. Automate masking so that you have it secured, and automate your DeProd steps so that your production is safe from any accidental update by a sandbox. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.